over to Ronnie B, and thank you.
Great job. I like
that.
All right, Jody.
Wow.
Ooh, great job, team. You're rocking.
Yeah. Let's not do my part. Let's just have them do those parts over again.
Oh, no. We love you, Ronnie B. We're waiting.
Now, I have to say so. I have to admit, honestly, it is so unfair because it's just like they make this wonderful cake. They put all the icing and all the little good stuff inside and the beautiful ingredient, and then I come on and throw a cherry.
Oh.
And get all the credit. Thank you.
Hey, we like that cherry just fine. You just throw that cherry right on up there.
Exactly.
All right.
Have a Sunday without a cherry on it.
All right. And, I just, I gotta let y'all know something, okay? Because, look, I have to, I hate to tell y'all this. I mean, everything's been all good, and now I gotta come and tell y'all this. So but look, let me tell y'all something. All right. Some of y'all have been flaunting your capes. It has come to the attention of management at Sykes that certain people, I'm not going to just put the blame on Joni for wearing the purple with gold camel cape with the diamond trim. I'm not going to put it all on the team leader. There have been others who have been flaunting your capes. And folks are getting jealous because they want to be heroes to the card holders. So I'm just asking y'all to, be proud, but, you got to be a little bit humble. Folks, they're trying to lead the Sam's Walmart team so that they can be on the Mighty Lowe's team. Folks trying to jump ship off the Gap team so that they can be on the Mighty Lowe's team, so that they can get their cape. So just, like I said, y'all got to be a little bit humble, and you got to also know that the empire will strike back. That's right. Y'all been loving and being powerful and being, it's just been amazing. The newsletter that came out, I'm going to tell you the truth, I was darn near in tears just for the beauty. It was just a work of art. If you have not looked at that newsletter, you are depriving yourself of a treat. It was just wonderful. And the spirit, and now remember, this is professional. We're business. We're in the business of customer care, and we happen to be manifesting that business here at Sykes for the Mighty Lowe's team. And now I will admit I'm a little selfish, so I do kind of like it when y'all capes be flapping around and the other teams are looking all jealous and stuff. And I've heard that a couple of people up in Mod have went out and got them some capes. So it is happening, and I just want to thank y'all because it is here to stay. As I said, the coaches, the team leaders, they're not even here in the workshop, and they are getting the workshop. So I just want to thank you for being awesome. Now, let's go to the next slide. Love, access to power, part 3, complaints. Yay! Usually we get all the complaints, but this is about a special complaint. May I have the next slide? Now, our complaints and issues, we say here, got the little guy, the truth will set you free. Now, there are times that we as heroes to the card holders, we have complaints. Now, we don't always acknowledge those complaints, and we're like, we shouldn't complain because we have the job a bit, but they're there. Just like you don't want to complain about your children, but sometimes they be doing stuff and you complain. Or you don't complain and you suffer in silence. Or you do other little things. Now, we all do it. I do it. You do it. Coaches, team, we all do it because we're human beings, and in life, we have complaints. Our card holders do it. They call it. Now, our card holders are blessed because they call us. We're kind of in the business of resolving complaints. But then there are the complaints that we have. But like I said, not every complaint. Next slide, please. Now, if you see our little guide, our little superhero, complaints can be kryptonite. When you're a hero to the card, it's like like kryptonite. Because the thing about our complaints is that these are the complaints that we have about what we're doing, who we know, a particular type of card holder, and I'm not saying a bad, but a particular type that pushes our button. But we got that complaint. Now, most of the time, it's like something that hits and we just let it go. Okay, all right, let me give it up. But then they're the ones that try to stick around a little bit. So we're going to talk about the nature of a complaint, what's behind a complaint, and why or what's behind holding on to a complaint. Next slide, please. Now, complaints exist when we have a conversation based on there's something wrong here. This is wrong. Or the one I love, it shouldn't be this way. Or simply, I'm right, you are wrong. Now, complaints are not created equal. And we're going to have a little inquiry. I'm not going to give you answers. You had at yourself, but a specific type of complaint. This is a persistent complaint. So I don't mean you got upset with the card holder today and you complained about it for an hour. No. I'm talking about those little complaints you have that just seem to keep popping up. These are the complaints, and you might not give real voice to them, but you know they exist. They're in your heart of hearts. So next slide, please. We need the next slide. Now, the nature of being a human is we want to be right. I like to be right. You like to be right. Who likes to be wrong? We like to be right. And anytime we're holding on to something, especially if it's a complaint, guess what? It's because we're getting something from keeping it around, like a payoff. When we are being right about our complaints, we get a payoff. Now, there's an old story about a woman who complained about her husband's drinking. Went to church, complained, my husband, I don't know what I'm going to do with my husband. All he does is drink. He's lost his job. He's done this. Well, one day he quit drinking. He gave it up. Now, that's a good thing, right? She divorced him. She divorced him. She loved that because she loved that complaint. Next slide. Now, there's when you have now remember I said a persistent complaint, like that woman married all them years. You're getting something out of it. And try it on, but so there's certain payoffs. One thing is, I'm right, guess what? Others are wrong. I can justify my actions and invalidate your actions or the actions of others. I can dominate the conversation and not have to hear the other side. Well, Mr. Cardholder, since I don't really believe that you really are the real cardholder, and even though you answered the questions, but I don't really believe that you have a voice like Barry White and you're supposed to be Marilyn Monroe. I just don't believe. And whenever I hear a cardholder like that, I just hate it, and it just bugs me, blah, 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 So you might have a complaint about a certain type of caller. And it may not, you might know you have it, but then again, you may not know that, God, I've been doing that for quite a while. Next slide. Now, the ultimate payoff of any complaint that's persistent, now this is in life to say just this, snap it on or whatever, is to avoid responsibility. When we are being right about our complaints, we get a payoff. But there are some costs. You get a payoff, you got to have a cost. And part of the costs are your health and vitality, love, joy, freedom, power. Now, I want to hold that slide for 1 second. Now, this is going to be real brief. Way back when, in another time, okay, I had a great job, really, really great. I got a great job now, but I had this really great job, and I was making great money, and my complaint was that I had to work 10 times harder to be equal. Well, Joe, he could take time off. Frank, he could take time off. Marty, but you know what? Hey, I'm a black guy. Back then I had hair. I got to work 10 times harder to be equal. Now, if you ask me how things were going, I'd say great, because I got a great job. I'm doing the right things. I'm working the right way. I'm doing the right things for the family. And, of course, life is fine. But there was a little subtle resignation like, man, this is it. I got to work 10 times harder to be equal. And then one day it hit me, that little voice, that little voice of clarity every now and then step in. And it's like someone asked, and what came up was, yeah, I got to work here. I got to work 10 times harder to be equal. And the little voice said, did someone put a gun to your head? Like, no, nobody put a gun to my head. Well, then why do you have to work 10 times more to be equal? Because I was being right that years ago when I got my first job, I had to really bust my behind because I was the new guy. But that wasn't forever. But I was living like that was right. So it was costing me my vitality, the joy. Can you imagine going to a job where you feel that you got to work 10 times harder to be equal all the time? And long story short, I actually left that job and doubled my income in 1 month. Really did that. True story. Now, may I have the next slide, please? Oh, okay. Now we have our love assignment. That's right, the love assignment. I can't wait for it because, what we just went over, you need something to work on. Next slide, please. Okay, now what I want you to do is list all your persistent complaints, all the complaints you got in life, all the complaints you got about psychs, all the complaints you got about work, and the complaints you got about your niece, your mama, your daddy, the complaints you got about the neighbor next door who keeps blowing his leaves in your backyard. We want all the persistence complaints. Then break them up into categories, card holders, because we want to take care of psychs, Mighty Lowe's team. Complaints you got about psychs, complaints you got. You don't have to tell nobody. You don't have to, we ain't trying to get you in trouble. Lowe's, Synchrony Bank, relationships, and most importantly, complaints you got about romance. And I don't care if you're married, you need some romance, so get the complaints you got about romance. And if you're not married, maybe you need to look at the complaints you got about romance. Now, for each complaint, answer these questions. What are the payoffs from holding on to this complaint? What are you getting out of it? It's going to be in that first category. And then what are the costs? What does it cost you to hold on to that complaint? Then what conversation are you willing to give up or create, let go, and let your natural love come through? I gave up the conversation that I had to work 10 times harder to be equal. Gave up that, and then like I said, I doubled my income. Had the greatest job I'd ever, my dream job for that time. I was like God, when I gave that up. Each day, choose someone on your list where the presence of love has been missing. And next slide. Communicate with them and have a conversation that restores the presence of love.
Wow, Ronnie is amazing.
Now, thank you. Being a hero feels good because in your heart of hearts, you know who you are and what you gave, and you are proud of yourself. And humbly, even Joan Jackson, you wear your cape well.
Thank you. Wonderful
That's
job.
awesome. Thank you.
Always eye-opening.
Yay! We certainly appreciate all of you coming. Thank you so much. We hope you will all do the closed loop feedback.
Closed loop.
And We certainly appreciate that. And
done already.
Oh, y'all are, look how good you are.
Somebody beat me to the closed loop.
Everyone give yourself a hand. Give our wonderful team a hand. They work very hard on this, and they're just doing such an excellent job. We're so proud of this team and every one of you. So thank you so much for attending our VOC meetings. Does anyone have any questions before we call it a night? You can ask out loud. You don't have to type.
They're doing closed loop. Everybody jumping on the closed loop right quick. That's what that is.
Remind Cassandra to make sure the her baby is asleep the next time.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or any comments?
You guys do such a great job on this. Like, you know.
Oh,
thank
you.
Great.
Yeah. You guys are the reason I come. I come here because it's always interesting. You know?
Who is this?
Oh, this is Miss Anonymous.
Stay anonymous. You can get comments like that. You got to give your name.
It's Joanna.
Thank you, honey, so much.
Yeah, thank you, sweetheart.
Well, we're all just here to help each other and hopefully share, the good comments, the good experiences, really just to lift each other up. And we're certain that you all have examples, and that's why we always ask you to either post them here at the town hall or in the chat during our shifts, just to help lift each other up and give each other that courage and that strength. So thank you.
Or suggestions about other town halls you might want to see.
Absolutely.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you all for coming. Miss Joni, do you have anything to add?
No, you guys are great. Y'all covered everything.
All right.
Always.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joni. Thanks, everybody, for
Have
coming.
a good night.
Hope the rest of your night's
Thank
just as
you.
awesome as you are. Bye.
Good night,
Bye, guys.
everybody.